Adam. Okay, I'm working on patience. It's 30 seconds. There. It's 15 seconds. Don't keep what? No, Liz dropped it off. I just saw her drop it off. Is this for everybody or is this just for me? No.
I don't see the kids outside anymore.
Oh, it's for the kids. It wouldn't even for me. It's a pass-through gift. Okay. Thank you. All right. All right. We're going to call this meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Tull. Here. Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Here.
Councilmember Roberts. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Graves.
Here.
Councilmember Saper.
Here.
All right, thank you. Next item, Pledge of Allegiance, Councilmember Toll.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Is there all in favor? Please say yes.
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 Opposed? No. Motion carries. Next item, comments from the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak this evening? Liz, please.
Is it on? Ooh.
You're on. Good evening.
I'm Liz Ryan, 2417 Erie. I have a couple things, especially this bump islands on Armour Road. Armour Road is called the sins of the city by several people. And you know, we should have learned a lesson from those bumps on Howell. And when the snow truck comes through, what do they do with that snow that bumps into them? And some council people should know about them. And, you know, come on, let's do some homework and not go through a bunch of rigmarole again. Of course, my mother used to say, if you don't like somebody or something, stay away. And do I ever stay away from Armour Road? I go to the post office in the alley of Knox. Okay, and I just think we really need to think some of that over and really do our homework, because I had a doctor friend that come in from Minnesota. He said, what has happened to Armour Road? The only good thing yet is that theater. Thanks, Adam. Okay, and then I have another thing. I have the seniors, several of them, they watch Channel 2 now, and they were so excited to hear about the grocery store. What happened? We don't hear about it anymore. And they were just kind of wanting to know. And another thing, on the YMCA reports, you know, it's here, and they watch television. But, you know, it's there, but nobody says anything. Oh, well, okay. So we had a designated person, you know, when it was with the hospital with Righteous, he would mention, and I think Lisa Toll. Didn't you give the reports of the...
For COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Well, can somebody give the thing for the YMCA? They're curious, you know, and I've got them to watching Channel 2 now, so they don't ask me so many questions and the neighbors. I would ask if, you know, give them some outlook of what's going on with the Y. And number 4, and I'm done. But, you know, you were talking about the sidewalks. It's on Seminole, and Fred, when he was on the council, he wanted a sidewalk there on Seminole, where you live, Amy. I know that's an area where it doesn't have sidewalks. I think it's on the left side. I'm not. Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. But please, let's really work on Armour Road and make it a real success. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comments? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Okay,
I'd like
there's
to
not.
pull item
There's a
7.
removal. Item 7 is being removed and will be considered as the first item on the regular agenda. Is there a motion to approve the amended?
Move to approve the amended consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? No. Motion carries. Item number 7, resolution accepting grant funding from Mid-America Regional Council, resolution number 22066. Is there a specific question?
Yes, I've had a communication from a commissioner of the North Kansas City Special Road District, and they would like to be involved in this project, and probably should be. I don't know if it's by contract, they would be a contractual person, a contractual member of it, or through the city.
As in, like, they want to oversight any project we do, or they
Do it
want to...
in a cooperative way, yeah.
Oh, so, okay, similar to some of the other projects we've done, where maybe
Yeah,
do some sort of
exactly.
split and maximize. Okay, well, that's up to,
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
there we go. Further questions on this item?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item is the NKCY MCA Director Introduction and Update.
Yes, tonight we have Gary Lynn and Tammy Carolyn here from the Y. They'd like to give an introduction of Tammy and an update. I think Gary's going to start out.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Mayor, City Council members, it's great to see some of you. I recognize some faces. I would say there's also been quite a bit of turnover, as we've had quite a bit of turnover at the Y. But I'm excited today to be able to introduce our new executive director. We've had a little bit of turnover in that area over the last 6 to 8 months, and so I'm excited to introduce you to Tammy today. I think she'll provide some stability. Tammy has spent the last 10 years at Big Brothers Big Sisters, has a heart for serving families and especially children. And I think some of her passions coincide, and why she's really good fit for this Y is because of some of the diversity and the inclusion efforts that we do at the Y, as well as the makeup of the city. I think they're going to align very well. So she's here today. Want to be able to introduce her, and then she's going to take you through sort of a impact report of some of the successes and some of the things that have gone on the Y over the last 6 months. So, Tammy?
Thank you, Gary, and hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. I'm going to keep it brief to respect your time, but I've been with the Y for a short 2 months so far, and I have learned so much about North Kansas City and the North Kansas City Y. I'm in awe of this community. I've been a Northlander for 23 years and over on the other side of Parkville, and enjoyed North Kansas City here and there with my family, but really just being here even for 2 months, it's just so refreshing to see the city. And what I see in the North Kansas City Y is that it reflects North Kansas City as a community, and I love that. The building is absolutely beautiful. It's awe-inspiring, but, when you walk inside that building is when I think you really see the magic that's going on there. It is an incredibly diverse place. Like Gary said, I love diversity. I embrace diversity. I want to see more diversity. It's diverse in age, in abilities versus disabilities, in cultures and religions and ethnicities, and I think that's what makes it a really, really special place. I could literally take probably 45 minutes to walk you through everything that is in this PowerPoint, and it was lovely for me to really sit down and put it all together and get a true picture of what we're doing at the Y. So I'm just going to walk through a little bit of it with you. There is a lot. We're going to start with membership, and I'm just going to highlight that we are the second largest Y in the Kansas City area in terms of membership, with 2,900 units, and we have had 1,267 new members sign up year to date, which is fabulous. And Gary reports to me that we're closely approaching Platte County South, who is the #1 membership Y in the greater Kansas City area right now. The other thing that really stands out for me on this is our scholarships given out. And so to date, through June 30th, half of the year, we've given out almost $110,000 in scholarships to area residents. So that says to me that it is a place for all, and that we want to make it possible for any and everyone to join the North Kansas City Y and be a part of that community. Okay. And secondly, I'm going to talk about our healthy living floors. So the Y is a gym, right? It's so much more than a gym. You're going to find out more about that later. But in terms of our fitness program, I think it's top notch. We are full up on staff in terms of coaches and fitness trainers. There is someone on the floor at all times to make sure that it's a safe environment, that they can answer any questions that anyone has, engage with our members, make sure that they know about our personal training programs, things like that. And then really proud of Jody, our Healthy Living Director, in that she's really increased engagement with personal fitness and also with attendance at our Group X classes. Fast forwarding to Aquatics, that is Chase Coffee. He calls it his fish bowl, and it looks like a fish bowl from the outside, but he runs a stellar, very safe aquatics department. I'm very proud of him. To date this year, 894 kids, young adults, and children with special needs have received swim lessons. So, what we know about water is that it's very fun, but it can also be very dangerous. So super excited about that. He does have an autism swim program, which I love because some people do and do not know that autistic kids are drawn to the water, but also generally don't have the skill set to keep themselves from drowning. So he's really moved on that initiative, and enrollment is increasing there. One other thing that he does throughout the association is helps train other lifeguards. So he's been responsible for training 45 other lifeguards throughout the association. It's very exciting. And then our active older adults just love the water fitness classes, which are easier on their bodies, but still keeps them active. And then our food pantry and our urban garden is such an exciting place. This is one of those benefits for anyone in the community or even outside of the North Kansas City community in terms of coming and utilizing our food pantry. I think the numbers are so impressive. We, just from our garden, have harvested 73 pounds of produce this year. And what I love to hear about is that they are harvested, they go through a triple washing, per safety standards, and then they go directly into our food pantry, which is super busy at all times, 10 to 2 every day. Send people that might need a little extra help there. We've served nearly 7,000 individuals in the first 6 months of the year, also impressive to me, and nearly 54,000 pounds of food going out there. And then every day I watch parents come just to the Y because they know that at a certain time of day, we're going to have sack lunches available for their kids. So that's an exciting thing to see as well. And our active older adult population is wonderful. It is big. People come to just hang out with their friends and have a cup of coffee, play chess, catch up. But Lauren, who is our coordinator, has just such a wide variety of programs. We're partnering with North Kansas City Hospital for fall prevention programming, for Keeping Their Keys program. And what she explained to me that's really important is that a lot of older people are afraid to fall, so they don't move. And when they don't move, falling is a bigger risk. So we're really excited to roll that out. They're also getting involved with our urban garden, and they're going to start an active older adult garden club. And so and building a free library is what they're calling it. So that's wonderful. And then our New American Welcome Center is a true gem within the North Kansas City YMCA. It's an opportunity for new American citizens and immigrants to come in and learn English as a second language. Articelli is our coordinator there, and she's very energetic. And to date this year, 93 individuals have enrolled in those ESL classes, and as far away as Mexico. So I think that's a huge impact that we're making in that space. We have plans to grow that program and offer it to even more people. Also, every time there's a class, she has a bag of groceries that she gives to her students, and they get together, you can see in that picture, and celebrate their graduation from one class to another. And our Best Buy Teen Tech Center, also a space within the Y where you don't have to be a member to take advantage of that space. We've had over 3,500 youth served to date in 2022. And if you look at the bullet point at the bottom, what we're really looking forward to in the future is connecting and understanding the North Kansas City school system and their pathways programs. And Cornell Tang, who's our coordinator and an all-around great guy, really just getting to know those kids, getting to know what year they're going to graduate, what pathway they've chosen, and how we can support that in terms of bringing in people, to help them explore those pathways and be successful in whatever they choose to do. And our kids zone. We get no fun pictures of our kids just to respect their privacy, but this is Takara. She is our Youth and Family Program Assistant. And to date, again, 2,000 kids have come through our kids zone and been taken well care of. One thing that she is working on is kids zone not just being a place where we watch kids, but a place where we develop the kids that are in that space. So really looking at specific activities and engaging activities. We take them down to our largest studio, which we call Determine, and take advantage of our Y360 programming, which is 24-hour virtual opportunities for workouts. And it's really fun to see the youngsters get down there and really be working out, in that space. So that's just a brief overview of the things we've got going on there. I'm open to any questions.
All right, questions? Councilmember Smith.
First off, welcome and thank you
Thank you.
Thanks for what you do with the Big Brothers Big Sisters too.
You bet.
My wife did that program for like a decade, and it's
tell her
amazing.
thank you.
About the why, a couple questions. So, do you have numbers on how many North Kansas City residents are members currently? Do we know
I
that?
believe we do. 91. Okay, so we currently have 91 identified
Okay,
members.
that's individual members or household members.
Not totally sure on that.
Okay.
I would also tell you.
Yeah, we did.
I would also tell you that I'm not sure that everybody has converted yet to a resident membership, so there very well could be some more than the 91 that aren't a part of that package.
Okay, so 91 on the resident program, and then
Correct.
it could be more. Are we seeking out to let people know, run the roll?
Yeah, we actually we did a marketing plan for it in February earlier this year, and then Tammy and I just talked about it again this past week.
Okay, and then any people who are currently members, if they would be saving money, reaching out to them actively would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Second question, would we be able to arrange like a tour and meet the staff for members of the council? I think some of us would really like to get in and see the facility as it's laid out now. Some of us were more familiar with it as the community center. I've recently joined as a member, rejoined as a member, and I'm very impressed with what's going on, but I'd love to see kind of the inner workings of how things are being done, and if there are asks for the city, maybe we could talk about what could be done with the facilities if needs are there. I saw right here, safety improvements for the kids zone, things like that.
Yes, the short answer is absolutely.
Okay.
We would welcome you anytime. Maybe Michael can share a good point of contact
Sure.
for me to reach out, and we'll get
Yeah.
that taken care of, yeah.
And then, let's see, is there, because I know that the senior program sounds incredible. I know that a lot of my specific constituents would fall into that category. Is there a contact for Lauren that they could reach out and find out about programs?
Absolutely. So all of our email addresses are kind of the same, first name, last name, at kansascitymca.org.
Okay, say that again, YMCA.
kansascitymca.org. And I'm happy again to send that
Yeah,
to Mike and have him pass that through to you.
that'd be great. I'm
Because
sure.
honestly,
they'll reach out.
She is gung-ho, and she's a huge asset in that space, and we would love to have, and she would welcome more engagement on
Excellent.
every level.
Yeah, we'd love to get the word out because
Yes.
the YMCA is a very, not underutilized, undermarketed to the local community. Some people just look right past the building because it's been there so long now.
Yeah, and I do believe, yesterday with elections, it was interesting to see how many people ask questions about the urban farm and the greenhouse and things like that, because it is so impressive from the front as you drive by, but unless you go around or go inside,
Yeah.
it is hard to really wrap your mind around everything that's going on in there.
Yeah, it's been impressive coming in just over the last few months and seeing what's
Good, we're
going
glad
on,
you're
so,
here.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Councilmember Graves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just kind of want to float an idea out there to you all. I've talked to Tina, the previous director, about this, and so I'll just float it out there publicly. And there's a desire for the city of North Kansas City to have a skate park. and there are business owners complaining about kids skateboarding around in their parking lots, on their stairs, things like that. So we're obviously not going to stop kids from skateboarding, so I would like to give them a place to go. As previously mentioned, I believe it was just a short time ago, we were talking about the parking lot. People watching may not realize that the city of North Kansas City owns the land that the YMCA sits upon. And so I would like to see the city with the YMCA's, coordination and do a joint effort. And just like you just mentioned, the greenhouse, there's a lot of land available over there that people may or may not realize is part of the parcel of land that the YMCA sits upon. And it would be, I guess, just east of the parking lot. There's room, or you could even build it south of the parking lot. And man, it's been a year. It's been a year now, but I even went around and talked to the business owners that own businesses around the lot, and they were on board. The only ask they had was they wanted a fence put up so that kids wouldn't transition from a skate park over to their lot. But I would love to see the city develop a skate park on, in conjunction with the YMCA. And I think it would drive people to the YMCA. There's also been pushback in the community. There's other areas that people have floated a skate park. If it's too close to residential area, to houses, people flip out. Like if it was by the Parks and Rec Center, by Mackin Park, people don't want that. We have a little piece of land over here, Richards Park, where that little flower statue, whatever you want to call it, piece of art is located. So anyways, I went through with the city and looked at every parcel of land that we own, and to me that makes the most sense because I think it would be a win-win with the YMCA too. And then Tina, I'd never heard of such a thing, but she mentioned a bump track. You know what that is? So it's like a bicycle track with like pump track. Okay, there, I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so Tina was like, you could even do a skate park and a pump track. We're supposed to be this bicycle community, so perhaps that's something we should be looking into. And I think it would drive membership too. So I think it'd be a win-win.
It's an intriguing idea. I'd love to talk to you further about it.
Fantastic, thank you. Further questions, comments? With that, thank you and welcome to North Kansas City and look forward to working with you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. All right, we are on to number 9. Crystal.
Third Amendment to the North Kansas City Destination Developers Tax Increment Financing Plan, Bill number 7695, Ordinance number 9492.
This one's just a little complex for me. I'll leave this one to Kim. Or Tom. Oh, well, we're going everywhere here.
We're mixing it up. I'd like to call on Mr. Steve Sparks.
I mean, unless you want to do my simple explanation that this is just cleanup language and you want to get this passed. Well, I mean, you guys all have it in your packet.
We've already talked about this, haven't we?
Yeah. There we go. He's going to come tell me it's cleanup language, right?
Mayor?
Yeah.
I will. And Councilman, nice to meet you again. I'm Steve Sparks with the law firm of Bryan Cave Leighton Paisner in Kansas City. We've been working with the city on the redevelopment of the area now known as 1 North for many years. And one of the things we've been doing is working with the TIF Commission to create a tax increment financing plan for 1 North. That was done in 2017 when the original plan was adopted for 1 North. We amended the plan in 2018 and in 2019, and we're here again tonight to ask for an amendment, the third amendment to the TIF plan. The purpose is pretty simple, although it looks complicated in the documents. One purpose is to true up the plan budget to the current actual numbers. And we'll be doing this again in the future as the construction is completed and real numbers are used rather than plan numbers. And the second purpose is to true up plan legal descriptions with actual legal descriptions. So we're matching the plan to platted property so that TIF can actually be used on projects as they are completed. In particular, this amendment trues up the legal description in the TIF plan to the grocery plat site Otherwise, we won't be able to use TIF for the grocery, which is an essential component for doing the grocery. So step one, legally for the grocery, is adoption of the Third Amendment to the TIF plan. Happy to answer any questions that I can answer, or Kim or Tom or Matt Webster, the city's financial advisor, is here also.
Glad we got one reference off to grocery. So now you can say you've at least heard it again.
Yeah. First reading.
Thank you.
Second.
Second. All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
An ordinance approving the Third Amendment to the North Kansas City Destination Developers Tax Increment Financing Plan, making findings with respect thereto, authorizing certain actions by city officials, and containing a severability clause.
I move that bill number 7695 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9492.
Second.
And I did not ask last time, so is there any further questions or comments from council? Okay, there we go. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Tull?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark? Yes. Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
An ordinance approving the Third Amendment to the North Kansas City Destination Developers Tax Increment Financing Plan, making findings with respect thereto, authorizing certain actions by city officials, and containing a severability clause.
Perfect. Next item is the petition for, I'm good, right? Good to go.
Do you want me to go?
Thank you. Number 10, petition for termination of 18th and Swift Community Improvement District public hearing. As part of the 18th and Swift project, we did create a CID as part of a $600,000 public shared $600,000 public parking shared cost, and then we are going to collect $750,000 in payments back to the city. But due to us doing our own parking lot and the arrangement changing, this is now really a defunct CID, and there's no budget, there's nothing else to the CID. So there's the very simple explanation. Is there any questions for staff on that, on the CID, or why we are dissolving it? Seeing none. Okay, staff report. Open the public hearing. I now declare the public hearing open and am asking for any public comments. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No. Item 11.
Petition for the termination of the 18th and Swift Community Improvement District, Bill number 7696, ordinance number 9493.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed? No. Motion carries.
An ordinance approving a petition for the termination of the 18th and Swift Community Improvement District, authorizing the execution of documents and directing the city clerk to notify the Missouri Department of Economic Development of the termination of the district.
I move that bill number 7696 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9493.
Second.
Any further council member comments? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Tull?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
An ordinance approving a petition for the termination of the 18th and Swift Community Improvement District, authorizing the execution of documents and directing the city clerk to notify the Missouri Department of Economic Development of the termination of the district.
Thank you. Number 12, resolution approving the Armor Road Complete Streets Construction, resolution number 22065. I'll do an intro, then we'll get to questions again. On December 7th, City Council approved combining phases 2, 3, and 4 of the Armor Road Complete Street Project. WSP went out and designed the project that brought those design plans back to us on May 17, 2022, in which we discussed and approved the final design elements. We put it out for bid, and the lowest and best bidder came back being Gunter Construction for the amount of $1,367,000, $1,367,785. And in addition to all of that, we will have a $250,000 cost share with the Special Road District. So we have 3 items in a row here. We have a construction agreement with Gunter. We have a task order WSP for construction phase services. And the third one will be a budget amendment because this was originally budgeted at $609,960. And the reason for the difference, the budget amendment to, what is our total budget amendment? I had it, my computer died. 190, there we go. Because we had mill and overlay, 500,000, added concrete walls, 50,000, extended the mill and overlay all the way to Ozark. And that bumped it all the way up to the 1 point number Kim just said. Questions for staff, Councilmember Smith?
So I'm in favor of what's going on. The one thing since our final design approval discussion that has given me heartburn ever since is it's on page 34 of the document, page 34 of 138. It's the mid-block crossing island in front between Wendy's and the former Pizza Hut at Volcano Teppanyaki. That mid-block island just blocks off every turn in the vicinity. And I know we've approved final design, we've bid it out, but we haven't churned up the pavement yet. Is there anything we can do with that? Can we just make it a crossing, or do we have to have the mid-block island?
That was a concern in the beginning. We could explore different options as we go through the construction. Kind of hard to. No, well,
If
we
you
had- we
remember,
looked at doing a hawk signal.
the engineer for this particular project was, he's a little wary if we take out the mid-block crossing without some kind of pedestrian safety feature, meaning some kind of hawk light, I believe is what he had mentioned.
And for people that don't know what that means,
It's a giant, really, really big light that you kind of beg button and begin.
Right.
but
and
it stops traffic.
It does
instead
stop
of-
traffic, correct.
You have to stop.
It looks
You
like-
have
Not
to
just
stop.
a
A blinking light, right?
Correct.
Looks like a traffic signal. You hit the button.
I
and
knew
then
that
it's
because
straight
we
like
had
that.
talked about it, but I don't think most of the world knows what a hawk light is.
Correct.
Never heard the term until.
And I'm recalling, and I'm channeling my inner Jay, but pretty much what he said is if you were going to encourage pedestrian crossing at that particular area, either you have the mid-block crossing or you have that light. He would feel very uncomfortable with anything other than those two options.
Okay.
Because you're encouraging pedestrian safety without putting in the infrastructure that guarantees it,
And
or at
that-
least brings it to a higher and safer level.
That makes good sense. I mean, if we're gonna cross a road at that point, it's the middle of a block, it's not but the island sitting there, just, it jams up everything. People are going to try to get into the turn lane to turn left into Wendy's and get blocked, then they'll jump back into traffic, same going the other direction. I'd rather see the hawk light and open up that, turn lane in the middle. I know it's the 11th hour, but I would much rather have a non-impediment there.
I have no way of estimating how
I
much that would
know.
cost.
I hate
I'm
that.
so sorry.
Do we think it would be more or less to do the hawk light versus the concrete island in the middle? The cost would go up for the light? Really?
That's it'll involve electricity, mast arms, poles, all that.
Okay, and then remind me, because this was a discussion at the last one, it didn't come to mind until we had the discussion during that meeting. Where are the next closest crossings to this one?
It would be at Ozark, at Quick Trip, and then, it might be Lynn.
So Lynn, near the Taysburger Shack and then near Quick Trip?
Right.
And that's it's a pretty decent run between. Yeah, people do it. Yeah, people do it anyway. They just run across.
You'd be lit.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a third alternative
Not really, no.
without like breaking the budget wide open, but I just see that island causing a lot of stress for traffic and for people trying to figure out where to go with it, and for the businesses, for the Chinese buffet and and Wendy's. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, one thing we could possibly do is as we get into the construction, look at exactly, because they'll be surveying where these islands go. So we can draw in, with paint or some kind of markers to look at where it would actually end up.
Yeah.
And if we decide at that time, yeah, this is looking kind of not in a good spot, we could pivot at that point.
Okay. And I know we've talked about could it be somewhere else, and that's it's either too close to one or the other. This is kind of the only mid-block, but yeah, if we have the option to pivot at that, like this isn't locking that one in. I don't know how it works, approving a bid and settling on a price and then saying, we'll take that. Did they itemize this island?
I would think we need some sort of council vote before we even change the plans, because we authorize this.
Right,
via council
yeah,
vote. Yeah.
this is the rub with having like things done. Like we get the documents and then we make the decision. Now it's been sitting out there a while. I hate that I'm bringing it up now. Almost didn't, but I would be remiss if there, there's a traffic accident there or one of the businesses has a real problem getting their customers in. So I don't know what the right move is from this point.
I think we would need some kind of motion.
Motion for.
Yeah, I agree with what Councilmember Smith is saying, and I was going to vote no on this anyways, and that was one of the main reasons, in fact. Armour Road, as Liz Ryan mentioned, is already not enjoyable to drive down, let's just say. I completely avoid it altogether living down here. I just take 16th Street most of the time to avoid Armour Road. People, if you don't know what we're talking about, they're going to delete the center, the turn lane in front of Wendy's. So now if you're going down Armour Road and you have somebody, turning left during the lunch hour into Wendy's, traffic's going to be backed up, and it's already backed up, let's face it. So I think this is just exacerbating the issue that is Armour Road. I think I don't know why we're doing that. It's like the most complicated street to drive down in the metro at this point. And this is just another example of, people can't walk another 100 feet down the road to cross at a safe place. So we're going to stop traffic and delete the turn lane. Just doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I would say I would move to delete that from the contract if it's itemized, if you're looking for a motion.
So I totally skipped over Councilmember Toll. You did have your hand up at the beginning there. Are you good for now, or? Well, there we go. Councilmember Roberts.
Well, Councilmember Graves just said what I was going to say. Make a motion to, if we can delete it, or if not.
Can we? That's kind of my question. We can delete
So-
that specific piece.
In the contract, on page 2 of the contract, I'm looking at 1.8 additional services. It does give some flexibility. However, we would like some direction from the city council to staff as to, are you deleting that particular component? Are you wanting us to bring forward options? I hate to say it, some clarity on, so
It
that
seems
we
like-
can have an understanding at the staff level of what you guys would like to see us do.
It seems like deleting the entire assembly of the crosswalk, if it's,
I would vote for options,
This,
because there are people already crossing there.
correct. If we put
It's
in,
happening.
if we put in a crosswalk, we're suggesting people should. And then we open ourselves up to some liability if somebody crosses at our crosswalk and.
But that's
something
what the
bad-
hawk light would be for if you got rid of the bump out, right?
Correct. Yes, that would make it safer.
If it was just a flashing light, because I went to talk to Anthony about this.
Yep.
If it was just a flashing light, I would not be in favor, because I walk up to Waterworks Park all the time, and I have one time had someone stop for that flashing light as they're flying down the hill.
Right.
But it would be a total stop, as opposed to the island where you're responsible for making it halfway, and then you're responsible for making it the other halfway. If you got rid of the island, then it would be a total stop.
Yeah. In my mind, it seems feasible that people could go to Quick Trip or go to Lynn and make the crossing that way. Now, if they choose to cross mid-block without the refuge island, that's their decision, and it's not a good decision. But if we're putting curb stops and ramps onto the street, we're encouraging that. And if we're taking out the island, which I think we need to do, then we're making a dangerous crossing. Like, we're putting a dangerous crossing in. I think we take the whole thing out if we can do that with the contract.
I mean, can we always
so.
go back, if we remove it right now, we
Here we
can
go.
always
Councilmember Roberts.
find that there's a need for this, or find a better solution after the rest of this project is done, and then go back to it.
Rather than
Would
Like,
this, okay, question, would this require re-engineering?
If we can get just a tiny moment at the staff level, we are trying to get an understanding of if there was changes this late in the game, what does that do to this contract in the bidding process? So if
There
we
you go.
could just get just 1 minute.
Yeah,
I'll give you 4. How about I'll recess for 4 and we'll be back at 8:15.
We
8:15,
appreciate
I need
that.
more coffee.
Remember the activity we did at the leadership thing, right? Where, like, do you lend legitimacy to a crossing that shouldn't be there to start with? And then somebody turns,
understand that,
right? Then it falls to us that, we encouraged it.
Yeah, but they are doing it.
All right, here we go. We're back. We are back. We are back. We are back. And now we are big time back. Further council member discussion. We'll start here.
Okay.
Councilmember Smith.
Okay. Since I did you guys have something?
Just can fill in on discussion, on our staff discussion. Would you
Please
like?
go
Yeah.
ahead and do
So,
that.
so one of the things we were concerned about that the contract hasn't even been awarded yet. There were two bidders that could cause some issues with the other bidder. Section 1.8, it's page 2 of the contract, does allow for additional services, which includes changes by altering, adding, or deducting from the work. So what we were discussing is awarding the contract as bid, but then immediately us getting with the contractor and making the changes. It will require a couple of amendments.
Yeah.
One with the engineer to go through and do the engineering of, if we're going to a signal, not to mention the additional services for the electrical work, the pole, the mast, all the everything required.
Okay, so in looking at this, the Wendy's concern is not valid because it's not the main entrance that is being impeded here, it looks like. It's the first entrance. You could go up and turn left farther down. It's really the entrance to the buffet that's going to be the main hang-up. So what Anthony said about moving it slightly one way or another, I'm not sure if it gets, chalked in or painted in, and then we see that that's going to be an impediment to the left turn on westbound. Would it be able to be moved? I mean, that's an amendment, it sounds like, under the...
We actually looked at trying to move it when we talked to the designer, and there was not a...
There's nowhere else.
Different kind of place. Yeah, we kind of went down that road.
Okay. It's a tough one. And the signal, I think, though, is just... the hawk light sounds like it would be a safety thing, but it stopping traffic, teaching people what a hawk light even is. The added expense, I think that option is not going to be a good one. So it's either delete the whole thing or keep it as is and maybe shift as we go. And I don't...
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know which way to do it. Council, help me.
All right, is there further council discussion on this?
I would say award and decide at the
Councilmember
time.
Clark, go ahead. Yeah.
Award and decide at the time. I mean, if we can alter it, we can get to the point where we just see how much it infringes on that area when it's just sort of mapped out with chalk or whatever ways they do it. I'm sure they're not going to just tear up and build it, and then we go, although that does happen. But I would say
has happened.
That's welcome.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, further council member comments?
So there was a motion on the floor
There was no
to
second.
remove everything.
Was there a motion?
Yes.
No, there was a motion and a second, and that was what?
There was no second to it, was there? Did you say?
There
I
was a
don't even
second.
have a motion that
Okay.
I'm aware of.
Oh, okay.
I moved to delete.
Yes.
I second.
To delete.
All right, now to the technical problem of that is we cannot delete it before we approve the contract. So you're kind of stuck in with an all in or all out right now. At the moment, at this second. That's what I'm saying, there's no
Right, so,
contract.
yeah, there's no contract to delete
Gotcha.
from.
So can you retract your motion? Is that what
Well,
you
the
have
second has to
happen?
retract and then the
I
motion.
retract my second.
Okay, there is no second. Is there now a say? Anyone else for a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Okay, there we go. We are back to item number 12, resolution 22065.
So our option, as I understand it, is we award the contract and then we may exercise or leave it to the judgment of the community development or community public works. I'm sorry.
We're combining them now.
Yeah.
Community Public Works.
Community Public
I like
Works to exercise their judgment to keep it or delete it pending, bringing it to us. I don't know how that
I
would
mean, any construction project is, not going to always be built as planned. There's different things you can get into during construction and change things. It's going to happen probably anyway because 9 times out of 10 you will find something in construction that changes. But it's it can always be looked at as that section in the contract says later on.
Okay. I will then move to approve the contract.
Second.
Whoa.
We're so
All right, you got one. You got a second there, Crystal?
I just grabbed one.
You maybe should have just said yes. No, I'm
Yes.
just kidding. Thank you. All right, all in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No.
No.
Motion carries. The next item is resolution approving the Armor Road Complete Street Task Order 1, resolution number 22068. I don't know. Someone want to tell me what's going on here? What is this one? The WSP,
I'm sorry, yes. So this,
there we go.
yeah, you kind of covered it with all 3 of them. So the WSP amendment, this is so the design engineer can be brought on for construction phase services to make sure everything's built according to plan.
There we go. That sounded much
Move to
better coming from
approve.
you.
Second.
Any further council member questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No.
No.
Motion carries. Item number 13, resolution approving the Armor Road complete. Scratch that. Item number, this is why I leave this up to the pros. Item number 14, budget resolution, Armor Road Complete Streets Construction Resolution number 22067.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, any further council member discussion? None, Kim
Do
has
want to
a,
just
there we go.
very quickly, should there be any changes, we may need to bring forward a budget amendment. I'm just putting that out there on the public record that we might go through some of our contingencies, kind of alluding to your previous discussion.
All right, thank you. There is a first and second on the budget amendment, resolution 22067. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed, no.
No.
Motion carries. With that, it's an ordinance. There we go. Fine, I can do this one. Ethics ordinance, bill number 7697, ordinance number 9494. Really, I mean, this is, the ethics ordinance deals with direct financial dealings between any council member, staff member, with the city. We have to fill out these ethics forms. If we don't do this routine thing that we pass every couple of years, then we have to do a very, very long, detailed form. And I was told otherwise, if we approve this, we just have to do the short form.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No.
An ordinance of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interests for certain officials.
I move that bill number 7697 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9494.
Second.
Didn't ask for any further council member comments. Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Tull?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Safer?
Yes.
An ordinance of the City of North Kansas City, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials.
Oh, please, continue. Continue. This is where I check out.
Okay.
this all you
Item number 16, approving accounts due and payable by the city through July 29th, 2022. Bill number 7698, ordinance number 9495.
First reading.
Second.
All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No. Motion carries.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through July 29th, 2022.
I move that bill number 7698 be placed on second and final reading and pass as ordinance number 9495.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Tull?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Safer?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing payment for certain accounts due and payable by the city through July 29th, 2022.
Thank you. Staff comments. Mike.
So as normal, you have the upcoming city items of note. I'm gonna jump ahead of Shu just real quick and a response to the, YMCA reports are in there. One of the things that I think is great by the, as of the end of June, YMCA is showing a surplus of 118,000, almost 119. That's good. That's good for us. And another thing is, whether it was Tammy or Gary hit on, they're second as far as attendance and fast approaching first. So that's a good part. Shu has a report in here regarding transportation. Shared use.
Yep.
And then
So I do have a little item here. I want to give everybody a heads up. I mentioned briefly over at the budget session about a capital improvement project that we're shooting forward for 14th Avenue and Diamond Parkway shared use path. So staff has been working on this service transportation program, the STP allocation funding for project 2025 and 2026. We have already submitted the application, and at this point, and we were asking for $560,000 from the federal funding to compensate 80% of the cost for the construction site awning for after the estimated cost from Horner Schifrin, who we originally signed a contract to conduct the feasibility study with. This feasibility study was initially, the contract was assigned back in January this year. However, this project was put on hold due to the staff turnover, because Sarah Copeland left, and we just put it on hold till May this year when I started to go through this project, and we will conduct a 6-month feasibility study process, and we'll have a final deliverables maybe at the end of this year, and you will hear some details of the open houses and public engagement components here shortly. But I just want to give you a heads up, this is what this grant that staff is pursuing for, and I'm open for questions.
Questions? Seeing none, thank you. All right.
Last staff comment, Kim.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just have 2 quick things to bring to your attention. The first one is Fox 4 is conducting one of their zip trips, which is when they kind of highlight one of the local communities around the KC metro area. They talk a little bit about why you should come visit. So they were in town today. They were doing a bunch of filming in anticipation for Friday, August 12th from 7 to 10 a.m. They are going to be live remoting from Mackin Park. They'll be talking about a lot of our unique features, some of our cool independent businesses, and kind of why you should come check us out. So that will be an open thing. They're going to be in the festival shelter. Thank you so very much to Parks and Recreation. It is an open event, meaning that people can kind of come and watch, and we anticipate hopefully more people knowing how cool North Kansas City is.
What time?
They are going to be live remoting from 7 to 10 a.m. So they will be kind of hit or miss in between their morning broadcast.
Central Time.
It is Central Time. For those of us who like mornings.
I know that she's up for 4 hours by the time that hits.
Another just quick thing to make sure that's on your calendar is the Parks Board and City Council joint meeting. That's on Tuesday, August 23rd, 6 p.m. here again. And that is to have an update on the River Forest Park feasibility study. So that will be here again. We'll have the room kind of in that same constructive area, and we will be broadcasting that.
All right, perfect. And I hear Anthony has an update on trees. No, I just want to see. All right. Anything further, Mike? That is it for staff comments. Next up, council member comments, kicking off this evening with Councilmember Toll.
I want to thank all staff for the budget that you put together. I love how it was tied into the strategic plan that we worked so hard on. And I know it was a real team effort. So it's not just the department heads, but I know they had to turn to the people that were under them. And so I want to really sincerely thank everybody on staff for pulling that together. It's a huge project. And also to give a shout out for the grants. I just love it. I know you have a million things going on, but there's so much money out there to get, and we've applied for a lot of it and received a lot of it, and I would like to see that continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Smith.
Thanks again for all the work on the budget. Nick, hope everything's going well. And I appreciate the discussion among the council. Sometimes budget process can be painful, but sometimes it brings up some good discussion on items randomly like trees and sidewalks. So I appreciate that discussion. It's all from me.
Thank you, Councilmember Fitzgerald.
Echo the previous couple comments. Just thanks to city staff for putting together that budget, and then also want to express continued sympathy and support to the North Kansas City Police Department and friends and family, Officer Vasquez.
Thank you, Councilmember Roberts.
Yeah, this budget is just chef's kiss. I mean, you have to really hold this baby in your hands and go through it to really appreciate it. But it is congratulations, everybody. This is so nice. It's very well done. And Anthony, congratulations. Every time you come here and sit down, we're just like, how about more money? Would you like some more?
Oh,
sir?
I'll tell you, every time you see him walking down the hall with a sheet of paper, he's usually coming for more money.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate how important it is that we continue to move the Complete Streets project forward. Just this morning, as I was going to Quick Trip, I was cut off by 2 different people who were using the bike lane as a turning lane to go into Quick Trip, and how dangerous that is if you're a cyclist. So this is an important project to get done because there will be a barrier there whenever it's finished. And then the downtown streetscape is moving along so quickly. I see it every morning. I'm like, they are just chugging along much faster than the first 2 phases, but it's looking great.
Thank you, Councilmember Clark.
Thank you to city staff. Thank you to Parks and Rec for being willing to meet up as we continue forward on River Forest Park. Pretty pumped about that. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Councilmember Graves.
Yeah, so a few bullet points real quick. I want to reiterate that I think a great idea to boost our YMCA from number 2 in the metro to number 1 is to establish a skate park at the YMCA. Number 2, I would like us to hurry up and approve the golf carts usage in North Kansas City. I would like to copy the Riverside model where they do not need to be registered and they're limited to streets 25 miles per hour or less and allow people to cross Armour at stoplights to go to places like maybe Paul and Jack's or the Iron District. I've already got a golf cart picked out, so let's hurry this up, folks. Thirdly, I'm in the very early stages of looking into something. I haven't even talked to city staff about this, but I did some research on capping the percentage of smoking rooms allowed in our local hotels. There are municipalities in the state of Missouri that have capped the number of smoking rooms in hotels to 20%. And so I'm looking into that and how it would affect certain places that we've been discussing recently. And then fourth, and really the main thing I want to do is thank everybody for the outpouring of support for our NKCPD. And it was very powerful. I can't even really put words to what I saw at the funeral procession. I just want to thank everyone for the support, all the signage, the blue ribbons and trees, and it really means a lot to everybody. So thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Nick, who's probably not watching from home, but thank you. Oh, Councilmember Saper. Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Councilmember Saper for always being very patient with me.
I am patient indeed, but I have nothing else to add to what the other council.
All that for,
members have said.
I'm kidding. Well, I appreciate your patience anyways. Thank you. Give a shout out to Nick putting the budget together, as well as all of staff. I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of meetings to get to the point, as well as Kyle for doing a lot of inputting and attending a lot of these meetings as well. So thank you everyone putting the budget together. And again, one final reminder, 8/16 at 6 p.m. will be the public budget session. What do we call it? Open house. So there we go. With that, I have nothing else. So we are on to item number 20.
Consideration of a request to hold and recess into an executive session as requested by the city administrator to be held on this date on a real estate matter pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute Section 610.0212.
Move to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Toll?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
Yes.
Number 21, consideration of a request to hold and recess into an executive session as requested by the city administrator to be held on this date on a real estate matter pursuant to Missouri Revised Statute Section 610.0212.
Move to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Toll?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Councilmember Roberts?
Yes.
Councilmember Clark?
Yes.
Councilmember Graves?
Yes.
Councilmember Saper?
All right, and quickly, thank you, Liz, for the suckers for the kids. I forgot to mention that in my mayor's comments. Thank you. With that, the live stream and Channel 2 will cut off. There will be no further business or no further votes taken this evening. Thank you. And, I like this way.